Okay, welcome back to the Filthy Heathens podcast. My name is Kirk. So, today for this video, I'm just going to drop a short one really quick. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl 54, between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tampa Bay Tom Brady's. So, that's really what this game is going to come down to. It's come down to Tom Brady. It's really difficult. I haven't really watched much NFL this year. I've kind of stayed away from sports because everything got so political. It's like I know I go to sports to get away from the politics stuff. So I didn't watch a lot of football this year, but I did kind of keep up a little bit with what was going on a little bit, and I watched the championship games last week. If Tom Brady plays the way he played last week, I think they're going to get destroyed. I think the Bucks will get destroyed. You have to remember Brady threw 3 interceptions against the Packers, and the Packers didn't do anything with those interceptions. So it's if Brady plays like that, people say, "Oh, he won the game." And it's like he played well otherwise. So 3 interceptions. The Packers are not the same offense as the Chiefs. The Chiefs will score points, and not just points. They'll probably score touchdowns if you throw an interception. So if Brady plays like he did last week, it's going to be it'll probably be a bad game. The the Chiefs will just run away with it. However, it's still Tom Brady. Tom Brady, I've said this before to a lot of people, if I wanted to build an organization around a person, and I had to choose anybody from history to build that organization around, my quarterback right off the bat would probably be Peyton Manning or John Elway. But if I had one game and one game only to save my life, Tom Brady. I'm choosing Tom Brady or Joe Montana. So the most clutch quarterbacks in the history of the game, and I'm choosing Tom Brady on that. So for anybody who's an MMA fan, if you look back to Randy Couture, there were always fights that I would watch and I'd say, "Oh, I think this guy's gonna beat Randy," but it's Randy Couture, so I don't know. But then inevitably, usually Randy would lose those fights. So it's the same thing like when Randy fought Chuck, when Randy fought Lyoto Machida, when Randy fought Brock Lesnar. I said, yeah, but it's Randy Couture, so I think he'll win. But yeah, he ended up not. So I think I think it's going to be. I'm gonna say it. I think the Chiefs are gonna win. I don't think Brady plays, makes those mistakes like he did last week. I think the Chiefs will still win. I don't think it's gonna be as high scoring as a lot of people may think, because you have Tom Brady who will put points on the board. You have the Chiefs who will put points on the board as well. I think it'll be fairly high scoring, but nothing too crazy. I think you'll probably see something like around 38-31, 38-34. If the game gets a little out of hand, you might see, I don't think you're going to see people score too much more than 40, maybe 41 to, 21, 41-17 if the game gets out of hand. I don't think it's going to get too crazy, though. You're not going to see, any kind of blowout record. It's not going to be, it's not going to be 60-3. It's not going to be something like that. So that's how I'm thinking this game plays out. It's I am kind of wondering. They've had all season to get used to it, but the less capacity for fans, I wonder how that's going to work out, because a lot of I've noticed this for, again, watching MMA all this during this COVID stretch. Not having fans, or not having at least a lot of fans, I think does throw off some fighters. I think it threw off Conor McGregor, even though he had quite a few fans in that fight against Dustin Poirier. I think it threw him off because I think he thrives off of the crowd, like the whole energy of the building. So I think that might have thrown him off a little bit. So I think you see that. You've seen some fights, for for a few people that I really think they just thrive off that fan presence and that energy in the building to kind of hype them up during the fight. And I don't know how the Chiefs are going to respond to that, because I think the Chiefs are probably more likely the ones that need to that probably need the fan approval or the fan disapproval to get them going. Tom Brady's been here before. What's this? Is like his ninth Super Bowl, ninth or 10th Super Bowl. Yeah, it's it's a big deal. I don't think he really need. I don't think it's a big deal for him. I think the Bucks could probably be just fine, but overall, it's for a Super Bowl, so I think the Chiefs are going to show up. They're gonna put points on the board. They did a lot of games this year. They had a lot of games this year where they really didn't show up until they had to, and then decided to win. They kind of did that in the Super Bowl last year. They didn't really show up until they had to, and then they end up pulling it out. So that's what I'm thinking. If I'm guessing the score, I'm guessing somewhere 38-31 Chiefs. I think Brady tries to make a comeback at the end. And that's probably where you get that 31. They're probably down, they're probably down a couple of scores, and then they just can't pull the comeback back that much. So, yeah, that's how I'm thinking the Super Bowl goes. I just we'll see, because if the Chiefs do say, "Oh, we're going to take it easy until we have to win," you really can't do that against Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. That's not the way to do this. So we'll see how that pans out. But other than that, I think it's fine. You know, it is kind of nice though to have a major cultural event like the Super Bowl not have basically not get canceled, essentially, because this is I don't know, the Super Bowl just seems to be something that is uniquely American. And I know I know the British have like the Premier League, and in Europe there's kind of a big soccer thing out there, and they have that, and that's great for those countries and for that continent. I think there's something unique to for the Super Bowl that's just, it's uniquely American. Us in Canada are really the only countries that play this type of football. So it's unique to us as a culture, and it is going to be. It has been nice to see that this season hasn't really been affected at all, except for lack of fans in the stands. Everything else has gone pretty solid. All the games. I think they cut some preseason games out, which is something they've been talking about doing since I was in college, at least. Basically, ever since Michael Vick was playing, like his first few seasons, he broke his leg in a preseason game, and so I get it, but yeah, I mean the game hasn't really been affected that much. So it is nice to see that that there's going to be some sense of normalcy out of this year's Super Bowl, because last Super Bowl happened just about a month before, like they all of a sudden they started talking about COVID right around this time last year. So it is, their season was largely unaffected, because they had an off season. Then they had they got everything in place for their season. They had plenty of time. Other sports were in the middle of their season, so they had to kind of readjust on the fly. So, but football is king as far as the sports go in this country. So it is nice that this huge cultural event hasn't been just completely destroyed. So I'm really looking forward to actually watch the Super Bowl this year. It's been a lot of fun, and it's going to be a lot of fun, I think. And I just I hope that we can keep these going, and hopefully by the end of this year, we don't have to worry about fans in the stands. People can go, we can fill these arenas to capacity. These 50, 60,000 arenas for basketball games, we can fill those capacity. Same thing for baseball games. We can start filling those capacity again. It'd be nice to get back to that by the time the NBA Finals rolls around, by the time the World Series rolls around, by the time the even hockey. I mean, I don't follow hockey, but I mean, for the most part, I mean, I live about 2 hours away from the San Jose Sharks. I would love to go to a Sharks game this year. I live about a 45-minute drive away from the Golden One Center in Sacramento. So it'd be nice to be able to go to a Kings game this year. Those are things that I want to be able to do, or at least have the option to do, because we really don't have the option right now. So it'd be nice to get that going. We'll see where it goes, see how it happens, and we'll see how everything pans out. But yeah, as far as the game goes, I think what you're gonna see for the Super Bowl, I think the Chiefs are gonna get out ahead pretty quick. I think you're gonna see their pass rush is a bit too much for the Buccaneers offensive line. I think they can get to Brady a little bit more often. Brady will make some mistakes, which will, you know, even if it's not interceptions or fumbles, if it's not turnovers, it'll be enough mistakes where he throws a pass or something like that, where it ends a promising drive here and there. So I think you're going to see that, and the Chiefs will get out ahead. They'll probably coast at the end. That'll allow Brady to kind of have a bit of a comeback, and you'll see, like I said, a score 38-31, and the Chiefs will win. Yeah, that's really about all I'm going to drop today. I know in the last videos I said I was going to discuss, kind of give my overview of the 2020 election. I'll do that tomorrow. I had some friends coming to town. They're looking to buy a house in my area, so I had some friends coming to town. Wanted to spend time with them yesterday. That's why I didn't sit down and do it. So I'll probably do that tomorrow. Go over all my thoughts on the 2020 election. Kind of focus just on that. But today is time for pizza, wings, and football. So nothing more American than that, other than 4th of July, which is fireworks and explosives. So if you like this video, please please share, and please subscribe to my YouTube and locals.com page, filthyheathens.locals.com. And yeah, just make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Keep this going. I want to build it as much as I can, and I appreciate you guys' support. You guys have a great Super Bowl Sunday.